everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I have the newest release from Mooncat. I have their new Welcome to Paradise collection. Rue is here as well. Right, Viu? The Welcome to Paradise collection features 10 shades in a whole variety of finishes. This release is not considered limited edition. Yay! And it's available right now on the Mooncat website. All of the polishes featured in today's video were gifted to me by Mooncat. However, today's video is not going to be sponsored. And thank you very much to the Mooncat team for gifting me these polishes. As always, in the description box, I will have links to where you can pick these polishes up. I'll get into all of the pricing and sale information and my final thoughts for the end of the video. And as always, timestamps are going to be in the description box. Let's get into it. First up, we have 404 Soul Not Found. Mooncat describes this one as a black-based multi-chrome magnetic nail lacquer that shifts between teal, blue, and purple. 404 Soul Not Found had a fantastic formula. It was shockingly opaque. I've tried quite a few magnetics from Mooncat, and I never would have described them before as being overly sheer or even terribly sheer. I don't remember them being that sheer, but I did find this one to be very opaque. It was basically a one coater unmagnetized. The little dot you're seeing here for the cat eye effect is just because I accidentally touched my nail with the magnet, so it made a little dot. This magnetized absolutely beautifully. I was seeing green, teal, blue, purple, and pink at very extreme angles. I will note 404 Soul Not Found had a slightly thicker formula, but the kind of thickness that comes with a very opaque polish as opposed to being difficult to use kind of thick. Nothing in here is going to dry down textured. Removal is going to be a little bit messy due to the multi-chrome and magnetic pigments in here. And you will of course want glossy top coat as the polish does dry down a little bit flat. I did not personally experience any staining with this shade, but I didn't have it on for that long. As always with these like highly pigmented polishes, I always recommend wearing base coat or even doubling up if you're particularly concerned about staining. This next polish is called Cyborg Tears, and the brand describes it as a light blue silver metallic holographic lacquer. Cyborg Tears also had a fantastic formula, not quite as opaque as the last shade, but I did still find it built up really nicely for me in only 2 coats. I would describe this shade as a metallic linear holographic. The metallic-y side to this polish, you do not get brushstrokes with it once the polish dries down. And in bright direct lighting, especially like sunlight, you're gonna see a very strong holographic flame. And in low lighting, you're really gonna see a very kind of foil-like finish. While the brand does describe this as being a blue silver, I feel like the blueness really comes out more in like a cool undertone as opposed to like this is blue on the nail. In my mind, I feel that Cyborg Tears is a silver. Nothing in here is going to dry down texture, but this polish does dry down very, very dull. You will definitely want glossy top coat to give life back to this one. But again, removal is not going to be overly difficult, just pretty messy if you scrub it off. And now we have Ego Stroker 9000. The brand describes this one as a hot pink metallic holographic lacquer. Ego Stroker 9000 had a fantastic formula. This one was a one coater on me. I don't know if I love this polish because it's pink and holographic or because the name just makes me chuckle, but I truly love this nail polish. This is a very saturated, almost magenta leaning hot pink shade. After I finished recording, I realized that this one reminded me of a smoother version of Live Love Polish's Cake Pop. I believe Cake Pop had metallic flakies in it as well as holographic, and this one seems to be just the holographic and like some type of metallic pigment, so there's no like individual little flaky bits. Similar to Cyborg Tears, this one does dry down very dull, so you will definitely want a glossy top coat to bring some life back to the polish, but removal is not going to be overly difficult. Just kind of messy if you choose to scrub it off. And now we have Epilogue To Utopia, which the brand describes as a black-based multi-chrome magnetic lacquer that shifts between an indigo blue and purple. Once again, we have a fantastic formula that is just slightly on the thicker side. This one was a little bit uneven on that first coat, but I found it built up perfectly for me in only 2 coats. While the official color descriptions for the shades say indigo blue to a purple, I was seeing a hint of pink at extreme angles. Epilogue To Utopia magnetized super duper easily for me using both a bar magnet as well as my horseshoe style magnet. And in case my nail shape is bothering anyone besides me, I had a really bad nail break recently, so there is currently an obscene amount of nail glue keeping my nail attached to my finger. So we're all gonna get to look at my wonky nail for a couple more videos while it grows out. Also, I do want to mention Mooncat does say that the magnetics in this release are a new formulation for them, being significantly more opaque than their past magnetics. So I am finding them to be pretty solid 2-coat formulas. So that is Epilogue To Utopia in 2 coats, and I showed it unmagnetized and magnetized in 2 different ways. Removal is going to be super duper easy for this one. If you choose to scrub this one off, it is going to be a little bit messy. And now we have Meowtek Industries. Mooncat describes this one as a multi-chrome lacquer that shifts between a green and purple. In my mind, I feel that Meowtek Industries is the non-magnetic version of 404 Soul Not Found. They have very similar color shifts. So while the brand does say it's green to purple, in actuality, you're going to be seeing green, teal, blue, purple, as well as pink at extreme angles. It is a really beautiful color shifty multi-chrome that also has a really nice 2-coat formula. This isn't a super smooth multi-chrome, so you don't get like brush strokes with it, but you can see like the itty bitty individual particles. So even though you can see the individual particles for this multi-chrome, this does not dry down textured in any way, and removal is going to be super duper easy with it. And now we have Decay, which is described as being a dark green black when cold to a bright teal when warm. Decay also had a fantastic but slightly thicker formula, and even though it was on the thicker side, I did still find that it applied really smoothly and evenly and easily for me, and I did find that this one started changing colors on me right away. If you are new to thermals are temperature reactive, so you'll have like a cold state and a warm state. If you have a free edge on your nails, or if you have really bad circulation, you'll be able to see both the warm and cold state on your hands at the same time, similar to how it looks in my transitions shots. If you have fairly short nails or really good circulation, you'll likely only see one color at a time. While I do like this thermal, I think the colors are really pretty, and I could really see myself wearing this one in the fall. Because it's kind of just like a cream thermal, I feel like if I were to wear this for personal wear, I probably would pair it with a topper. For the price point, I would have loved if this had a bit more going on in it, but that might have potentially made it even more expensive.
You know, that's just my opinion. Everybody got an opinion, everybody got something to say.
Decay will dry down a little bit dull, but removal is going to be super duper easy. I did not personally experience any staining with this shade, but I feel like this is a potential stainer, so definitely make sure to wear base coat or double up if you're concerned about stains. And now we have Mutiny, which the brand describes as a lime green magnetic lacquer that reveals a deep teal base when magnetized. Mutiny also had a fantastic formula, not quite a 1-coater, but very close. I was really happy with the amount of coverage that I was able to get with this one in 2 coats. While Mooncat does describe the magnetic pigment color in here as a lime green, I feel like you're getting a whole range of various tones of green, from like on the lighter limey end of the spectrum to a more deeper kind of grassy green. I think the base color being so dark really plays well with this green magnetic pigment. Similar to the other polishes in this collection, this one is going to dry down a little bit flat and dull, so you will definitely want glossy top coat to bring life back to the polish, but removal is not going to be overly difficult at all. This next polish is called Nightmode, and the brand describes it as a blue-purple metallic holographic lacquer. Nightmode is pretty much the exact same formula as the other metallic holographics in this release, so it had a perfect 2-coat formula. I didn't find it to feel overly thick or thin, and I had 0 application issues. I don't really see this one as being a bluish purple or even like a blurple. Like, I feel like this is very firmly in the purple category. Similar to the other metallics in this collection, this has a very strong linear holographic flame, so you get all of the rainbows and sparkles of a glitter but without any of the pesky texture. And as is typical with linear holographics, this is going to dry down very flat, so you will definitely want glossy top coat to bring life back to the polish. This next polish is called Nirvana Pro X, and the brand describes it as a multi-chrome flaky lacquer packed with a color shifting silver to pink to green flake. Nirvana Pro X had a fantastic formula. This is a clear base flaky polish, so you could choose to use it as a topper or you could build it up. I'll be showing it both ways. I found the flakes spread out very evenly and easily. I didn't have to kind of zhuzh anything around with my brush. I found when building this one up in 3 coats, I was still able to see a little bit of my nail peeking through like the individual flakes. I would imagine if you're the kind of person who likes to sponge on glitters or flakies for like ultra full coverage, this would be a really good polish to do that with. I absolutely love how this polish looks in photos and videos, but for whatever reason in person, I don't really care for it.
No, Don't like that.
And that is to no fault of the polish itself, because again, I think it looks really pretty when I'm looking at the footage here. The flakies are super color shifty and the polish applied really easily as well. The flakies do have a very mild texture. I found when building this one up in 3 coats, it looked very textured on the nail. So using a more plumping top coat will smooth everything out really nicely, especially if you don't have like a glitter smoothing top coat already. I wouldn't recommend scrubbing this one off, especially if you opted to build it up in multiple coats. The flakies are just going to make removal very messy and not particularly fun, so use the soak off method or a peel off base coat if you have one. And the final polish in this release is called Port 6666.
She's tampering in dark-sided stuff!
The brand describes this one as a black, navy, blue base, multi-chrome magnetic nail lacquer that shifts between a pink to purple. Formula on this one was also really good, not quite as thick as some of the other magnetics, and it wasn't as opaque in 1 coat, but just like the other ones, I did find that it was opaque on me in 2 coats. I was pleasantly surprised when I magnetized this one that it didn't shear out on me. I generally find across the board for all brands, when you magnetize the polish, you lose a bit of the opacity when you magnetize it, which is why I always choose to build the polish up to full opacity and then add an extra coat to magnetize, and I didn't need to do that with any of the magnetics in this release. While Mooncat does describe the base on this one being like a black and navy, I will fully admit when I was swatching this one out, I thought the base was just black. Looking at the footage now, like I'm seeing that little hint of like a cool toneness to it, so I kind of see what they're going for, but I feel like for all intents and purposes, the base is going to look very black on the nail. As far as the pink to purple magnetic effect goes, I was able to see a little bit of a hint of a goldish orangey color at extreme angles, but the predominant color that you're going to see in your nails is going to be like a pink, purpley, magenta kind of vibe. And once again, super easy removal for this polish. You could scrub it off if you wanted. The magnetic pigment's going to make things a little bit messy, but not difficult at all. And as always, wear your glossy top coat because it dries down a little bit flat. Alrighty, so final thoughts. As I mentioned, I always absolutely love it when a nail polish collection features a whole variety of finishes. I feel like it makes just swatching it more interesting. I feel like the overall color story of this collection is very much in my personal vibes. I love blues, purples, pinks, and teals. Those are the colors that I personally purchased the most. I also really liked how color shifty all of these polishes were. I had really liked that the linear holos in this collection had more of like a metallic kind of vibe to them. And I say that as someone who's not generally like the biggest lover of metallic polishes. And in case you couldn't tell, I have a couple of the polishes on my nails on this hand. Let me give you a close-up. Here are the polishes from this release that kind of were catching my eye the most. On my ring finger, I did put a holographic crackle polish on top of one. Clearly, I really like this release a lot that I wanted to put it on my nails. I think my personal favorite from this release is going to be Ego Stroker 9000. I don't get the reference for that in the slightest bit, but I think it sounds hysterical all the same. So Ego Stroker 9000 is gonna make it onto my top favorites list because like it's pink, the name is kind of goofy, I liked it. 404 Sold Not Found is also making it onto my top favorites list. I love a color shifty magnetic, and that was the color shiftiest of the bunch. As far as pricing and sale information goes, the Welcome to Paradise collection is available right now on the Mooncat website. If you would like to pick up the entire collection, that is going to be priced at $149 US. All of the magnetic polishes in the release are going to be priced at $18. Moral Decay, the thermal nail polish, is going to be priced at $18 as well. Nirvana Pro X is going to be priced at $16, and Cyborg Tears, Nightmode, Ego Stroker 9000, and Meowtek Industries are going to be priced at $17. Mooncat did have a bit of a price increase since my last Mooncat video, and again, this collection is not considered limited edition. I would love to know what everyone else thought of this release. Are you planning on picking it up? Have you already picked it up? If you have previously purchased or tried Mooncat's past magnetics, did you find them to be on the more sheer side? Before we end today's video, I do want to give a very special shout out and thank you to my channel members, Shenanigang, Stormy fans, your names of course all on the screen right now. If you would like to sign up for my channel memberships, there is a link for that down in the description box, or you can click join next to the subscribe button. If you enjoyed today's video, I would greatly appreciate if you gave the video a big ol' like as well as hitting subscribe. And if you like me a whole bunch, don't forget to check out all of my other various social media pages, which is, I always forget what side I put it. I think it's on this side.
Wrong.
So just thank you all for joining me for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope everyone has a fantastic week or weekend, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
When I get high, I ain't looking at the clock, still ballin' like Brian. Yeah, I'm headed to the Bucks, then I'm ballin' like yeah.